Welcome to the Travel Agency in a Year podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Kay. It is day 129. Thanks for stopping by, coming back, whatever's happening. If you don't know who I am, head over to elevatewithrachelk.com. See how I can help you. I'm a travel agency owner and I help travel advisors figure this whole thing out without, draining their life savings and then still getting nowhere. Okay. Today's episode is, you can also just listen to this podcast and be like, this is a lot of information. It's fine. The untapped opportunities for travel advisors. What? What untapped opportunities? There's a secret? No, it's just untapped opportunities. So let me talk about a little bit about my history as a TA. I started back in 18 as a secret side hustle for another agency. And then I went kind of on my own, but hosted in 2020, if I remember the timeline correctly. It was end of 2020, but I was still with the other agency. It was weird because I had a couple bookings. I was waiting on the commission before I could quit. Shh, secret. Because this agency had the dreaded non-compete agreement that wasn't even legit because it listed 3 counties in one state. And I'm like, I don't even reside in this area at all. This is stupid that I'm signing this. Anyway, back then there was a big revival in, I don't know, it was like a big boom era. It felt like out of nowhere, all these people, young people, wanted travel advisors. And there was a lot of business that I generated at the beginning of 2020. And they were from in-person events. And then COVID. And then it was well, now what am I going to do? Because that was my primary lead generation source. I was like, oh my gosh, I can make a real living just doing this twice a year. This is amazing. And it was bridal expos. And then COVID changed everything because no one was able to do anything for several months. And it really ushered in the work from home / work from anywhere / can't socialize with people. And if you do, you better have a mask so they can't even read your facial expressions. It was guys, we were all traumatized. If you did think about how badly we were traumatized, you can't even look at anyone unless they're in your house. Good luck. For quite some time, some areas of the US at least, it was years. Where I lived, it was people, nobody cared. It was kind of weird. There were some people that cared, but for the most part, nobody cared. But it was still weird because it was I used to love Steak and Shake 24/7, 50s diner vibes. I loved the old Steaky Shaky. And then they had to shut down their 24/7. I didn't even know it until I was coming home from the airport and I was like, I'm starving. I just want a Frisco melt. Frisco melts are the bomb if you don't know what they are. It's sourdough, 2 kind of smash burger patties, American cheese, Swiss cheese, Thousand Island, lettuce, and tomato. Delicious. Anyway, I was like, just give me a Frisco melt. I had a horrible travel day. Oh, they're no longer open 24 hours a day. And I was like, I hate the world. Anyway, it's all changed, is what I'm saying. And there is a huge drive to bring back more in-person connection. It's the third space. So Steak and Shake, when I was a high school kid and I could only afford an 85-cent junior Dr. Pepper because I was 15 and didn't even have a job, I could sit in there with my friends smoking clove cigarettes like dorks, just act like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to get into it. Just be silly teenagers and not be at home and not be at school, and those who were old enough to work not be at their job. It was the third space. As people got older, like my parents, they really liked live music and blues. So they would hang out at certain bars, that often have had live music, but they'd also just go there just to hang out when there was no live shows. My grandparents went to like one of 3 restaurants every Friday and they just hang out. Um, those were the third spaces. We all had them. It could be a library, it could be a coffee shop, it could be like there's a reason there's a movie Barbershop that was like low key a third space that you could go hang out at all day. So that is coming back and has been trending definitely last year and into this year for sure. And I've even felt the itch myself, and I'm like, I need a third space, especially for us. Most of us travel advisors work from home when we're doing the travel side. You might have a job, but you're pretty much at home, and then you live at home. There was a winter storm. This is how much of a hermit I have become. And I'm like, I got to get out of the house a few months. Well, probably in the last year. There was a winter storm, and my girlfriend came by before the storm hit so we could have our usual weekly coffee. And it was like barely snowing. And she was like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I was like, it's snow. Who cares? Like, yeah, it's nice, but I don't care. And then she left to go do whatever she needed to do with her family. And it snowed probably, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches over the course of that day and the following days over the weekend. And I had already gone to the grocery store and like stocked up my month's worth of groceries. So I was like, I don't need to go anywhere. She came back. Okay. She came by on a Friday morning. She came back the following Thursday and she's like, Rachel, there is no tracks in your driveway. You haven't left the house. I was like, nope. She was like, that's sad. And I was like, well, yeah, you're right. So I have like built my house to be everything that I really need, but yeah, I don't go out and talk to people, or I wasn't at that time. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really messed up. I'm a hermit. I'm a complete hermit. Um, and now I go out a lot more, but I'm trying to figure out where my third space is right now, what I'd like to do. People are tired of only having social media as company. People are so tired of when they get a break of like a 3-day weekend and they're like, I'm going to rest and relax. And then they open up their phone and start playing videos and it's glued to their face and they aren't interacting with the people in their household, if there are people in their household. And it provides that instant little dopamine relief, but it is also very stressful at the same time on your body. And so people are moving away from that and want a third space because all of a sudden it's been 4 hours and you're like, I've got nothing done. Now I really hate myself because this just told me I'm too fat, I'm too old. No one's ever going to date me. Can you tell what my algorithm is? It's weird stuff. um the world is ending, everyone's at war. Maybe some funny skits occasionally. Oh, I need this new furniture from Temu. I've never even ordered anything from Temu, but this is like the stuff we all see. And it's like, the market's gonna crash, whatever doom and gloom, crazy stuff that just makes you feel like that you aren't enough. Like, please comment your algorithm. They don't like, it can't quite figure out who I am because I research so many different things. So it's kind of funny for me because it's like, the stress of being pregnant, and I'm like, I'm not even seeing anybody, nor do I have a desire. What is going on here? All right, that was a 10-minute rant about social media and the third space being gone. Social media is not your friend, it's a distraction. Okay? So the third space, is like I said, not work, not home. If you're old enough to get this reference, it's Cheers. It's the bar Cheers. Norm walks in and everyone says, hi, Norm. It's Central Perk and Friends. Somebody's always just hanging out in there and you can just run in and be like, oh my gosh, or check out this new thing I bought. And you don't have to be in their home. They don't have to be in your home. You don't have to be on the phone. You don't have to be on an online meet like FaceTime or anything like that. You just go. And if they show up, great, but there's going to be somebody you know there. Leverage your humanness, especially with all of the AI slop advertising inundating all of the social media apps, because you have the opportunity to have untapped lead sources. Okay. And we're going to talk about a list of them right now. Number 1, local events. You can even create your own. Yes, it's another app, Meetup. You can check Meetup. Meetup is terrible in my area. It's all like, we're alchemists. That's all it is. Or like D&D gaming, like, no, that's it. My Meetup is terrible. But I could create my own Meetup. And then have people meet up at a park or another public space like the Central Perk coffee shop or the library maybe, or wherever. I don't know where you live. But you can also look up other local events if they're in areas of interest that you actually like, and you're like, well, maybe I can connect. Maybe my ICA also likes that, and I can connect with them there. Presentations, small business organizations. Many local libraries have, like one of the libraries in the area should have like a business development kind of person on staff to help develop small businesses in the area. And you can ask to be featured as a guest speaker. You can maybe work with someone at the library to set up like a little travel club and find guest speakers and create that in-person community. Or you could just start a travel club. Who knows? Podcast guest spots. I have had advisors on my podcast as guests, and not this podcast, other ones. It can help you build authority, and it can expose you to a whole different audience. Client appreciation events. You can put those on if you want to. Local festivals. Don't sleep on the craft fairs. Don't sleep on local whatever community, the German Oktoberfest. Hello, get involved, volunteer, help them. And then also you have the opportunity, especially if you like niche in European travel and river cruising, because a lot of them are like on the Rhine and stuff. You could be like, come to this other event and we'll have more sauerkraut and brats for you. Maybe some German potato salad or Black Forest cake. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? And then give them the opportunity to be interested in working with you on that type of travel. Okay. Now, don't do it all at once. Again, we're baby steps to developing habits. It's not complete revamp and then crash and burn 2 weeks later because you're like, I'm doing too much different. Baby steps. Choose one new lead source to test. Research it now. Whenever you found this episode, it's technically like May 9th is when this episode should be played. If you go like January 1st is day 1. This is May 9th, I think. Yep. So research now in your spare time. Stop the doomy scrolly. Research on your phone. And then implement it for the next quarter. So for like local events or local festivals, it's May 9th. You've missed the opportunity if you have a lot of like flower festivals and summer festivals. They're already done anyway. So now you need to look into the fall festivals like Oktoberfest. I don't know why I'm like, Oktoberfest is going to change your travel business. It might. Who knows? See if there's like a way to register your business. See if there's a way you can volunteer. Who's running that festival? Like, do this research now, make decisions. October is technically the beginning of the fourth quarter, but if they have a registration deadline of September, you can make that decision by July 1st and be like, boom, I'm doing it. You catch my drift here? We're in the middle of the second quarter. You can start it the third quarter for like end of third quarter, early fourth quarter events. Okay. If you are doing things like presentations at the local library, client appreciation events, or travel club type stuff, give it a minimum of 8 to 12 weeks to test consistently. Don't do monthly travel clubs, do weekly, because not everyone can meet once a month. I mean, I'm just saying that. That's my opinion. You could be like, bitch, I already do this once a month. It's fine. Okay, I'm wrong. And then from here, while you're in this phase before you implement it, create your minimum good, and excellent success metrics for the first 30 days. Minimum number of leads you want to generate from this. Then what you would be like, oh, pat yourself on the back, Rachel. You got a good amount of leads. And then what would blow your mind, excellent. This is whatever number in your head. Your minimum should be at least 1. Okay? And if you have no minimum metric for lead generation, then we talked about this as spirituality. Nothing is being put out into the universe or spoken to with God, whatever. Therefore, they're like, yeah, you're doing this, but I don't know why. You're not in alignment. Have goals. All right. Have that for the first 30 days. And no, even if you just get one new lead, it's a nice little dopamine hit. And congratulations, you put yourself out there and you tried something new. Okay. 8 to 12 weeks minimum. I recommend quarterly. But decide when you're going to keep doing what you're doing. So you're like, Rachel, local festivals are like once a year. What are you talking about? We can't keep doing this. Great. Awesome. So you could also look at like bridal shows too. If you look at the bridal shows in your area, they almost always have the winter bridal festival season, and they'll have the spring. Like they have them pretty much every quarter. They'll have like the big one once a year, almost always during engagement season, like the most common time for engagement season, late January, early February-ish. And then they almost always have a fall one because summer engagements are also the second most common time of year. But they might have the spring and the winter festivals as well. Or not, sorry, the autumn. There's another season. I'm missing summer. There we go. That's the season. They might have summer, but summer festivals for bridal shows usually don't go on. If they are, it's like late summer, maybe. But spring and summer is like height of wedding season, especially like in the US. So it's almost always 1 or 2 organizations putting on multiple festivals a year. It could be hosted by the chamber. It could be hosted by like the wedding festivals I've done, like bridal shows. They call them wedding festivals now in many places. It's usually like one company that does it regionally, multiple states, and they'll have like 6 or 7 a year for you to sign up for. Because they want to make sure they get all the vendors in like a tri-state area. So don't think that Oktoberfest is only, it is only once a year. Maybe they'll do like, I hate winter, hurry up, spring Oktoberfest. But they'll have Oktoberfest and probably something to do with St. Patrick's in March. So that's 2 a year that you could at least test out that are seasonal, kind of holiday-ish related, but like non-secular. So there's that. Okay. Review it after you've done it. Was it worth it? Would you do it again? Did you hit your minimum? If you hit your minimum and you enjoyed it, probably do it again because it could be even better next time. And you could be like, now my minimum's 2 leads. If you did very, very well and you fell in your excellent category of success metrics, you definitely want to do that again. So that is the untapped opportunities. The third space is coming back. How are you going to leverage that as a human being running your travel agency? You could even like I wonder about doing like a brick and mortar office. Would that help? Question mark. I don't know. All right, thanks for tuning in and we will I don't know, have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.